I was talking to a woman the other day, a beautiful woman in her early 30s. She was lamenting about how she just got married 6 months ago and her husband was already acting like a jerk. And I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "Well, he doesn't romance me anymore." I said, "He doesn't have to romance you. You're his wife. He's not required to do that." She says, "Well, he did for the first 6 months. You know, we were dating for 2 years before we got married. And he was so romantic, all the time. And now he's just not romantic anymore. He doesn't tell me I'm beautiful. He doesn't compliment me. He doesn't take me out on dates. He doesn't do anything." And I said, "So what do you want him to do?" She said, "Oh, I don't know. I just want him to be romantic." I said, "But romance is not a given. You have to keep it alive." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Look, when you were dating, you were both putting in a lot of effort to keep the spark going because you wanted to attract each other. You had to be on your best behavior. You had to put your best foot forward. You had to make plans. You had to dress up. You had to show up for each other. You had to make sacrifices, right? Otherwise, if you didn't do that, the spark would die. The attraction would fade away. You understand that, right?" She said, "Yeah, of course." I said, "So why do you think once you get married, the romance just stays there?" It doesn't stay on its own. It dies. You have to water it. You have to feed it. You have to keep the spark alive. And if you don't, then it goes away. Just because you're married doesn't mean he has to be romantic with you. You have to be romantic with him. You have to keep that spark alive. You have to keep the attraction going. You have to keep the romance alive. Otherwise, it's gonna die. And then you're gonna be sitting there saying, "Why isn't he romantic anymore?" Because you stopped being romantic. You stopped being attractive to him. Why? Because you got complacent. You got comfortable. You stopped putting effort. You stopped trying. You stopped being loving. You stopped being kind. You stopped being considerate. You stopped being compassionate. You stopped being giving. All you were thinking about was, what can he do for me? What can he give me? Stop it. Stop it right now. That is the killer of all relationships. That is the destroyer of all marriages. That is the annihilator of all partnerships. When you stop giving, when you stop trying, when you stop being that person who was so attractive in the first place, then they lose interest. Then they're naturally going to be attracted to other people. You have to keep the romance alive. You have to keep the spark going. Don't sit there waiting for him to romance you. You're his wife. If you want him to be romantic, then be romantic. Do well to leave a comment. Let's know your thought. Please also like, share, and follow for more.